You know where you can find us. At the table with the trailblazers, pathfinders. Why would you attack Midas? Backbiters don't want smoke with the fact finders.
What it do, baby? Welcome back to the Dominate Digital Marketing Podcast, where we talk about all things digital marketing, from lead generation to branding and strategies businesses can use to grow in today's ever-evolving digital world. You know me, I'm Jason from Promotion Media Group, also known as the Raider, the Invader, the Crusader, all of that. Welcome back. Appreciate you for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about something every local business owner should know and practice and pay close attention to, and that is a pretty basic thing. It's a pretty basic concept, to be honest, but it's something that a lot of businesses overlook. A lot of home service businesses that should be counting on leads from their local proximity of captive audience. That is search engine optimization, local SEO. We'll talk about what it is, why it's important, why businesses should be doing it, and doing it consistently over a long period of time. And that's the key. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Again, thanks for tuning in. Brought to you by Promotion Media Group. This podcast is Dominate Digital Marketing Podcast. Thank you. If you like this content, make sure you tune in for more in-depth looks at how your business can fare well and do better online by increasing your online visibility and engaging with your audience at a higher clip to generate yourself more business and grow. That's what it's all about. We want to grow. I want to help your business grow. I want everyone to succeed. And I do this. This is my business. I've been doing this for a little over 10 years now in various mediums, TV stations, freelance work, and now running my own business, Promotion Media Group, where we help businesses, especially small home service businesses in my local area and beyond, get more business and grow and make more money for themselves to feed their families. Okay. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, a lot of business now is conducted online. So that's why we focus on making sure you know how to use the tools available to you in the digital world to do better and make more money. So that's why we're here. Appreciate you for tuning in. Today, like I said, we're talking about local SEO. Search engine optimization. In layman terms, that is, how can you rank higher on Google, Bing, Yahoo, etc., so that you can attract more customers who need you now to solve their problem. Okay, anything from plumbing to HVAC to roofing to landscaping. If you own a restaurant or an auto repair shop, really any business that depends on the local customer base in any specific geographic area, you need to know how to use local SEO to your advantage so that people can find you when it's time to solve their problem, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. Today, we're going to talk about what local SEO is, why it matters, and some practical things you can do to improve your online visibility. First, let's start with the basics, right? What is local SEO? Like I already touched on, local SEO stands for search engine optimization. You're optimizing your properties online, your Google business profile, your website, etc., for search engines to rank higher. Look at it like, it's best to look at it this way. If a customer calls your store or your establishment or your place of business and they want to contract you to do a job for them, they call you on the phone, right? Let's say you don't have anybody that answers the phone. You don't have a receptionist, or you don't have an in-house office manager that takes those phone calls, answers them, gets their information, and gives you that information so that you can book the job and complete it. Or if you're a restaurant, for example, somebody walks into the lobby of your restaurant and nobody works there. Doors are open. You're open for business, but nobody's there to greet them. No hosts come out, no servers come out, no managers come out to say, hey, how are you? How many? They'd leave, right? Same thing if somebody called a plumber tomorrow and said, hey, my pipes are bust. Give me a call back at XYZ. Nobody calls them back. That's more of an imminent problem, right? That person needs their pipes fixed. If you don't answer the phone or you don't call them back, what are they going to do? They're going to call the next guy. Okay? That's at least how it used to work when the yellow pages and the phone book were prevalent. You know, somebody looks up plumbers in a phone book and they see a long list of plumbers listed in there. Okay, if you don't answer the phone, they're going to go down the next plumber on the list and they're going to call that person. Right? That person is going to get the job. Okay. The fortunate thing about digital marketing now is you can rank higher in the phone book, right? You just have to know what to do to rank higher. And we'll talk about why ranking high is important. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but there are reasons that ranking high is important statistically as far as getting a job or losing one to your competition. We'll talk about those right now. Okay. The statistics show us that almost 96% of the average customer, average searcher on Google does not look past the top 3 search results on Google when they're looking for a solution to their problem. All right. Have you ever Googled an air conditioner repair company or a plumber or a roofer or really anything and noticed that as far as the Google business profile results, local companies that can solve your problem, Google only shows the top 3 results. The reason for that is Google knows that the average searcher doesn't care about the number 4 and beyond. Okay, through their traffic measurement, the analytics that they've gathered over the years on how searchers behave on search engines results pages, they know the lion's share of those clicks and calls and map direction requests and website traffic to those results only go to the top 3 results for the most part. Okay, so Google figures, why even suggest numbers 4 and beyond? Okay, so they put those first 3 there. Now you can see the rest of them. If you click under the 3rd result and click see more results, then you can see the whole list. But the lion's share of searchers only care about those first 3, and Google knows that. So they only even suggest those first 3. What that means for you as the business owner is you're probably going to lose that potential customer to one of those top 3 if you're not one of those top 3. Okay, how do you get there? We're going to talk about how you can affect your Google business profile, your website, your social media accounts to start your rank higher. Okay. So essentially, search engine optimization is the process of improving your online presence so those search engines can better understand your business, who you are, where you are, what you do, and show your business as an option to people who are searching online for the products or services that you offer. Okay. Try to rank higher. That's all it really means in a nutshell. Okay. Local SEO goes a step further and takes that concept and applies it to a specific geographic area, like your town, your county, your zip codes. Think about searches people make every day. Plumbers near me. HVAC repair, Dallas, Texas. Best roofing company in Omaha. Electrician, New York City. Those aren't just informational searches. People aren't just looking to do research through like a brochure or, go to a website and poke around a little bit. Yeah, that does happen a little bit. But usually those searches, especially in the case of home services and restaurants, auto repair shops, etc., those are searches by people who have a problem today that they need solved yesterday. Right? If it's summer in Oklahoma and it's 108 degrees in the middle of August and your air conditioner goes out, you likely aren't going to want to take 2 weeks to find a solution to getting your air conditioner fixed. So what is that searcher going to do when they see those results on that Google page? They're going to call one of those top 3, or they're going to message one of those top 3. Hey, can you come by and give me an estimate on what it would cost to fix X? If you're not one of those 3, you're going to miss out on that potential customer. And that's just statistically what research has shown us to be true. Okay. Most of those searches represent people who are actively looking for someone to hire now. And that's what makes local SEO so powerful. And again, the local aspect matters because the searcher in Omaha doesn't care about the electrician in New York City. The electrician in New York City can't help them. Okay. So what Google has done is it's refined the search process or the search algorithm to show local results to people who need things like home services. Okay, so we need to do what we can do to make sure we rank higher for those individuals, for those jobs, for that money that your business needs, that your family depends on, right? So why does local search matter? Again, let's say your air conditioner stops working in the middle of August in Oklahoma. Terrible time. I've been through it, trust me. And I had a terrible time finding somebody reliable who could do it for cheap. Okay, because I didn't have a guy. I didn't have a guy that I could call that could come by and do it right. And a lot of people don't. You may have a guy. You may know a lot of people that have a guy, but there's tons of people out there that don't have a guy. So what they do is they search for one. Okay. If they don't have someone at the top of their mind, if you're like us and our small market doesn't do a lot of TV, Facebook, YouTube advertising enough to stay at the top of people's minds, then they don't really think of anyone. The target customer can't think of someone who can be the solution to their problem. So what they do is they search for it. Okay. That person isn't going to want to spend 2 or 3 weeks trying to find an air conditioner company to fix their broken air conditioner in the middle of August in Oklahoma. They want somebody today, tomorrow at the latest. Like, they're going to try to figure out a way to get this air conditioner fixed now, because 108 degrees in August outside means about 98, 99 inside with good insulation, right? That person's going to grab their phone and they're going to search for someone who can fix their problem now. Okay. Google gives that person several options to choose from. Which company gets that call? Usually it's one of the businesses that appears in the top 3, like we said, has strong reviews, looks professional, and makes it easy to contact them. Okay, we'll touch on how you can do all of those things here in just a second. Now, you can be the best plumber in town, but if your business isn't showing up when people search for a plumber, you're missing those opportunities. Okay. The first step is your Google business profile. One of the most important pieces of local SEO is your Google business profile. Okay, there's a couple of different lanes going on Google search results pages, right? One of them is the business profile. That's the big square that shows up on the right-hand side of the screen if you're on desktop, or those top 3 results that show local results near you, and it shows the 3 with the reviews and the call button and the website button and all that. That's your Google business profile. That's separate from your website link, which will show up under the Google business profiles. Okay. There's 2 separate properties that are ranking on search engine results pages, and the local ones, the Google business profiles, are near the top. And those are the ones that we're focusing on first with local SEO, because those are the ones that get the most interaction. They have lead generation buttons built into them, so that person can get to the website, or they can click to call you from their smartphone, or they can look at your maps for directions. They can click on the reviews and read all of the reviews. They can see how many stars you have, how many reviews you have, all that. All that's your business profile. Okay. Your website link is going to be below that somewhere amongst the competition. Okay. But it doesn't have all that. It's just a click to go visit the website. Okay. There's a lot of people that don't click on websites. There's people that just want to see, are you in the top 3 with your Google business profile? Do you have a lot of reviews? Is your overall rating good? I may read some of those reviews and I'm going to call you, is essentially how most people operate nowadays. They may go to your website, poke around a little bit, and check to see how professional you look. And we'll touch on that here in just a second. But make sure your Google business profile is ready and starts ranking in that top 3 so that you can not miss out on those customers. Okay. The Google business profile is the information that can appear when someone searches for your business or for businesses that offer your types of service. Okay. There's always going to be competition. Okay. How can you make sure you outrank them, or at least be in the mix frequently? Okay. That's another point that I forgot to mention earlier, but there's a lot of things going on in the search engine results algorithm. Okay. There's 2 things that account for more than half of what that algorithm decides as far as who to rank in the top 3. Those 2 things are the most important things, and those things are reviews and listings. And we'll touch on both of those in a second. Okay. But there are thousands of other factors too. So it's important to know that you may not be number 1 every time you search for it, or every time your friends and family search for it, because lots of factors matter. Where are they when they search it? Are they closer to another semi-prominent competitor than they are to your office when they search it? What types of things are they engaging with online? Have they looked at another website more than they've looked at yours? Like, there's lots of different things that go into who ranks what for whom. But in general, you can do these 2, 3, 4 things to make sure you're consistently, frequently in the top 3. Okay, just know that there's lots of different factors that go into it, and it's never going to be a one and done. It's a long-term effort, and it's never going to be on number 1 all the time. Okay, there's lots of analytics tools that companies like me use to show a client your average ranking is, 2.5, or your average ranking is 1.7, or your average ranking is 9.17, something like that. The reason that that's there is because nobody's always number 1. Nobody's always a number 9, right? So you have an average on how you rank. So just keep that in mind as you're doing this, that it's not a one size fits all solution. There's lots of different things going on that determine who ranks at what position for this searcher. Okay, the searcher matters too. Okay, but trust the reports. Trust that your strategy is going to work. Do it consistently over time as we discuss it, and then trust what the numbers tell you and use that. And if it's working, keep doing it. Okay. So the information that can appear when somebody searches for your business or for businesses offering your service. Your profile should be complete and accurate. This is the listings that I was talking about. Remember those two things that contribute most to the search algorithm? The first is listings. There's online directory websites, dozens of them, websites that you've never even heard of, that are capable of listing your business's name, address, and phone number. Okay? Search engine algorithms scrub all of those directories across the internet to see if your information is A, there, and B, consistent across the board. Okay? If it's not published on all of those directories and the same on all of those directories, then your search ranking from the algorithm's perspective is going to suffer. Google doesn't have people that check all of those things to make sure that they're accurate. They have codes and robots that say, okay, on these 100 websites, is this business listed and is all the information the same? Okay, the reason that's important to know is it's little stuff that can make the algorithms say that's inconsistent and not rank you high because of it. For example, I worked with a client one time. I did an audit for them. I do free audits where I scan all of these directories and I scan their review consistency. And I tell them, this is where you're falling short and this is how we can help you. And in that audit, I found that their listing score was really, really, really low. And part of the reason was because on about 80% of those online directories, they weren't published at all. And on the 5 or 6 that they were published, the word Southwest in their address was spelled differently. It was spelled the word Southwest on Google, and it was abbreviated SW on Facebook, and it was South space West on a couple of other websites. The human eye looks at that and knows it's the same address. We know it's the same business, but the human eye isn't what's determining these search rankings. Algorithms are. And all they do is search those directories, and if that's not exactly spelled the same everywhere, then your search ranking is going to suffer for it. It's a really easy fix. That's the good news. We help you make sure all of that stuff is published everywhere and consistent and stays published. But you can do it on your own too. You can look for tools out there like Yext or Birdeye or etc. There's a few different ones out there, SEMrush, etc., that can take that information and publish it on all those directories for you. Okay, costs money, obviously, and you have to keep paying it every month to keep it published, but it's worth it because that's a quarter, that's 25% of the search algorithm that determines who ranks higher. Sounds worth it to me, right? So you have to make sure that information is published and accurate everywhere. Okay. You should also be adding quality photos to your Google business profile. One thing I do for my clients is everything that I post on social media for them on a weekly basis, 3 or 4 times a week, I also post to their Google business profile. Okay. That tells Google that you're staying active, that you're keeping things updated, that you're not a business that's going stagnant or staying dormant, that you're actually doing things, that your business is still alive. The good news about competitors, especially in smaller markets, is that not a lot of them are doing any of this stuff. Okay, so you'll typically notice a pretty substantial search engine result increase in prominence for you once you start doing stuff like this. Okay. Now I know a lot of businesses don't have the time to post to their own social media, don't have time to, monitor their reviews, things like that. But that's why digital marketing companies exist. Okay. That's why sometimes you have to hire, if you can afford it, you have to hire a person that focuses on doing stuff like this. Because on the back end, you're missing out on business by not doing this stuff. Okay. So in my opinion, it's a worthy investment, at least to hire someone or to have someone that's already working for you do this stuff consistently, posting to your social media accounts, doing a couple things on your website that we'll talk about here in a second, or responding to reviews, making sure your information is published, etc. Okay. Add those quality photos to your profile. Show your team, show your trucks, show your projects, your office, your work. People want to know who it is that they're hiring, especially when it comes to a home service business like an electrician or a roofing company. People are coming to your house as a customer. You're inviting people to your house. So you want to know who those people are. Feel comfortable with them. Feel comfortable with the business. So as a business, you got to make sure that people feel comfortable with you. Okay, so make sure you're adding quality pictures of quality work, of quality people, of good, branded vehicles, something that gives you credibility. Okay, all that stuff helps. Okay, on to probably, I would say, the second most important thing, but the second thing that contributes to that 50% of the algorithm, right? Reviews. Reviews are so important, and it's probably the most often overlooked thing. Listings, like we talked about a second ago, those are probably the most undone thing that businesses do, but I wouldn't say they're overlooked because businesses don't know that part. Okay, every business should know about reviews. They may not know how important they are, especially when it comes to how they affect the search engine algorithm. Reviews are very important. Now, there's 4 parts of reviews. There's the overall number of reviews. There's the average star rating. There's the frequency of reviews. How often are you getting them? And there's the response rate. Are you responding to all of them? Not just the bad ones, the good ones too. I know that sounds like a lot of work to generate reviews, frequency. Are you getting people to leave reviews on a consistent basis and responding to all of them? Good news is digital marketing companies like me handle that for you. An in-house marketing person can handle that for you. Okay? But it has to be done because it affects the algorithm. Google looks at reviews like, do the people trust you enough to recommend you to someone else? Do the people trust you to recommend you to someone else enough and frequently enough that you've got a lot of them? You've got a lot of 4 or 5 star reviews. And then the algorithm really hates it when businesses don't respond to their reviews. If you have 4,000 reviews and a 4.9 star rating, that's great. That's fantastic. Great for you. It's probably helping you rank higher. That's good. But you're not ranking as high as you could be if none of them are responded to, or you've only replied to half of them, etc., etc. I'm telling you, respond to all your reviews and you'll see over time how much higher you'll start to rank. Okay, but all 4 of those things are important. The overall number and the frequency kind of go together. Okay, you have to ask happy people to leave reviews. Unfortunately, in this day and age, it's wild to think about, but I see it all the time. You don't have to ask unsatisfied customers, dissatisfied customers to leave reviews. They do that on their own, right? Somebody has a bad experience, or they feel like they got cheated, or they feel like, somebody tried to rip them off, or somebody walked through the living room with mud on their boots and, ridiculous stuff. But you don't have to ask them to leave reviews. They're mad enough, they'll do it on their own. The flip side of that is unfortunately the opposite. Completely satisfied customers don't leave reviews on their own most of the time. How many transactions do you have as a business owner on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that go perfectly fine? Probably 95% of them, right? Why don't those people just leave reviews on their own? Well, because people are selfish and they aren't thinking about it. And, that's the way it should have gone, right? And they're probably right. That is the way it should have gone. But, reviews are important to us as a business. So I helped you. I got your problem fixed. We did a good job. Don't you think we deserve a 5-star review? They probably agree, but they just don't think about it. So what do you have to do? You have to ask them. Ask them to leave you a review when the job is done, after you're sure that they're happy. There's all types of things you can do. You can put it on your receipts or on your invoices that you have them sign. You can have your reps that are in the house after the job is completed. They're taking the payment. You can have them ask them. You can have automated systems on the back end send out texts and emails to people. That's another thing that our business does for our clients so that they don't have to worry about it. We send out texts and email requests to completed jobs, to past customers, and we ask them to leave reviews. We do that consistently because people still probably won't. It's kind of a low return rate, but over time, you may get 5, 6, 10 reviews a month. And if you're doing that over 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 5 years from now, you may be at that 5,000 review mark. Okay, and you wouldn't have gotten there if you didn't start asking people to leave reviews. Okay, there's probably some people listening to this now that have a low count of reviews and a low star rating, and you're thinking, I'm not doing business that badly. Why is my rating a 3.2 or a 2.9 or whatever? Well, it's because you only have 14 reviews, and most of those people were dissatisfied. Okay, that's not an accurate description or an accurate depiction of how the community views your business. Most of your clients are happy, but you didn't ask them to leave reviews, so they didn't. Okay, are you a 14 review, 2.9 star business? Probably not. Okay, but you didn't ask the 5-star customers about their experience, so there's nothing to counter those low reviews. Okay, so you got to do something to generate those reviews. Okay, because why is that important? Hey, let's talk about it. From a business standpoint, why is that important? Well, you have to learn to think like your customer. Think like your target audience. Again, someone's looking for a roofer. They don't have a guy. They're going to Google. And if they find someone on Google that is a 14 review, 2.9 star rating roofing company, and then right above that, they see one that's a 400 review, 4.9 star rating. If you were that customer, who would you call? Right? You have 10 seconds to make a first impression. And in this day and age, unfortunately, that first impression is on the Google search engine result page. Okay? So we have to do something to improve our credibility in the community because those reviews build trust instantly. Okay? And we have to make sure that our clients trust us before they even talk to us. It's unfair, but that's the way it is. Okay? So that's how we can fight that. It takes time, takes consistency, but it is important. Reviews, generating reviews consistently, responding to those reviews. If you're not doing that, you're killing your chances to rank higher. Okay, you should have a system for consistently asking satisfied customers for feedback. Don't ask just once a year. Make it part of your process. Tell your reps, tell your roofing project managers when they're done, talk to the customer, ask them for a review. Same thing if you're a restaurant. Ask people to leave you a review before they leave. If you're in a car, the car business, and you're in the finance office and people are done signing their paperwork, ask them to leave a review before they leave. Or send them a text later in the day or the next day and ask them to leave you one. Okay? Get in the habit of asking everybody, unless you know that they're pissed off. That's a little trick of the trade there. If you know they're pissed off, don't ask them. Okay? But everybody else, ask them. You may bat 200 on that, but that's 2 hits out of 10 that you weren't getting before. Okay, so just do that, and it's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Okay, make sure the customer's happy first, then ask them for a review. You can do it through text, email, QR codes, automated system, a marketing company. All of my clients have all this done for them. We publish their listings, we keep them published, we generate reviews for them, we respond to their reviews. They don't even think about this stuff anymore, and they rank higher. Okay. Next thing, your website. So we're moving from the Google business profile to the website. Remember, we talked about those 2 different lanes of results on search engine results pages. The website also matters, okay? Because you are going to have people who do want to see a website. So is your website clean? Is it modern? Does it look professional? Does it have proof of life pictures, not just stock images? Is it easy to understand? Are there clear calls to action? Can I find the phone number? Is it easy to get a hold of you? Do you have a booking calendar? Is there a web chat feature? All of that stuff is important, okay? Because local SEO doesn't stop with Google. Your website needs to support your local strategy too. So if you're a service area business, make it clear where your service area is. Where do you work? Which counties, cities, zip codes, geographic radiuses, radiuses? I don't know. Which areas do you service? Make that clear on the website. That accomplishes a couple of things. You're being clear and concise to the target audience where you're at so that they can trust that you'll be there to fix their problem. The second thing is you're catering to the algorithm too. Okay? Mentioning those service areas as many times as you can, as long as it makes sense within the context of your sentences and paragraphs, is going to help your search ranking because searches will start to find those words on your website. And that will say to the algorithm, this is a credible business in this area. I'm going to suggest this for this customer. Okay? Don't just create pages with a city name slapped on there. A lot of SEO companies they write a bunch of gibberish. Jason's Mechanical Services is a heating and air and plumbing company in Lawton, Oklahoma and greater surrounding areas. And they put that sentence in every paragraph, just spamming the heck out of that one sentence, right? Find clever ways to write it. Make sure it's on there, and write it as many places as you can as long as it makes sense, but make it make sense, make it flow, make it conversational. It doesn't have to be overly corporate unless you're a super corporate business and that's just how you want your brand to be seen. But people care about what's easy to understand and what's easy to get accomplished. Okay? So just be cognizant of how you're writing your websites, but make sure you're putting that stuff in there. Maybe blog articles about make sure you change your filter because this could happen, or how to notice if your main sewer line is busted, or something like that. Offer information that helps people. It may not turn into immediate return on investment, quote unquote, for you, but people care about free education. They want to find somebody that can help them, because in turn that makes them trust you more, right? People don't always want to be sold. So offer useful information to them on your websites and on your social media accounts. Okay? Explain the services you provide, of course. Explain the problems you solve, of course. Show examples of your work. Like I said, proof of life pictures, not just stock images. That's another area that a marketing company or an in-house marketing employee can help you. Have them come to jobs with you and take pictures of you and your staff doing the jobs. And have them put together short skits that are trending on TikTok or something like that. Put those on your website. Find creative ways to show your work, to show your staff. Answer common questions. Put a frequently asked questions page on your website. Answer questions for people for free. Okay? I know you hate the F word, free, but people want to be able to find something. Okay? They want to find a reason to trust you. So offer them some information, educate them, help them out. Help them trust you, and then when they realize, inevitably, that they can't fix the problem on their own, they'll call you instead of the guy who didn't have anything on his website. Okay? Which brings me to my next point. Content is important, not just for a website, but for social media accounts. Think about the questions your customers ask. Again, I say this all the time to all my clients. You have to think like your target audience. Think like your customer. What is a question that you would ask if you were them? Okay, like I said, an HVAC company could explain how often homeowners should change their filters. A plumber could explain why grease shouldn't go down the drain. You'd be surprised how many people pour grease down their drains. They just don't know anything about it, so educate them. A roofer could explain 3 signs of roof damage. The possibilities don't stop. They're endless. They go on forever. Okay. These types of articles can help potential customers while also creating additional opportunities for your business to appear in search results. Okay, another service that we offer as part of our base packages and above is websites with content. We create the website for the client and we post blog articles to their website on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis, depending on how their contract is structured, right? There's really only one reason that we do that. But there are 2, technically. Okay, the first reason is the more written relevant text on your website, the frequently updated, the more likely an algorithm is to suggest that website for a search, right? Updating it frequently tells the algorithm that website is active, it's being worked on, this business is credible. Okay, more words on the website that can be matched to search queries, the algorithm says this business is credible and we should match it with this customer. Okay, so do that. Put blog articles. We don't even care if people read the blogs. Okay, that doesn't matter to us. It's an algorithm hack, so to speak. It's an algorithm catering device, right? We want the algorithm to rank us higher. That's the only reason we publish blogs. Okay, of course, if it helps, the second reason is if it helps people learn things and help themselves out and it helps to trust you more, obviously that's good news because we want that credibility. We want to build that trust in the community. But the lion's share of our focus is making sure the website's updated frequently with relevant text, as much relevant text as possible. Okay, so that we can widen the scope of the types of searches that our website populate for. Okay? Probably the most important thing. I said reviews were the second most important thing, and it's because I think this is the most important thing. Well, for a website. For a website, this is the most important thing. Make sure your website is optimized to serve mobile devices. Mobile matters. Okay, and it's just crazy in 2026 that we're still talking about this, but I see a lot of websites out there that don't work right, don't look right, and aren't designed properly to generate opportunities on because of their mobile optimization. Okay, they don't work right on mobile devices, so they can't generate the number of opportunities that they could. Okay, so again, thinking like a customer, think about this. A lot of local searches, almost 95% of them, happen on smartphones. A lot of online traffic in general happens on smartphones. Okay, most of it, like more than most of it. Okay, a lot of clients that I have, when I'm designing a website for them, they always harp on the details when they're looking on their laptops. And I'm not saying that's wrong. You should care how it looks on a desktop. But look at it on the mobile device too. That's where people are going to be looking, right? And there are going to be minor differences in the way that your website looks on desktop and the way it looks on mobile, obviously, right? And I won't go into detail. It's hard to explain. It sounds like I'm just saying clients are complaining about things they shouldn't complain about. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that focus on the mobile device first and then focus on the desktop. I digress. Back to why mobile matters on websites. Okay. Think like a customer. Pull out your phone, look at your own website, and ask yourself these questions. Can you immediately find your own phone number? If you have to click on something to find it or scroll to find it, it's in the wrong place. Put it in the header. Put it as a button on the homepage before you scroll. Put it somewhere where people can click to call from their mobile device easily without looking for it. Is it easy for you to request a quote? Put a big fat button right next to the call button that says schedule service or request a quote or something. Have that take you to a calendar or whatever booking system you use, or just a contact form. But have something on there that makes it easy for our customer to request a quote. I would have those two buttons right next to each other on the home page in the top section before you have to scroll. You don't have to click on a menu or anything. Put it right there. If it's not there at a higher rate than you would expect, you're losing opportunities. Okay? Is it easy for you to schedule that appointment? Is your calendar booking system difficult to navigate? Is it outdated? That will turn people off, believe it or not. If it doesn't look new, you're gonna lose credibility in their eyes. They don't know it, you don't know it, but it's happening. They want to find something that's easy to use and that looks good. Okay? And if all that stuff's not happening, you're missing that opportunity. Can you understand what your own company does by looking at your website on your phone? If those answers are no, then do some work. Hire a marketing company, hire a consultant, or do some of your own research to save some money and fix it up yourself. But make sure that website looks good and works properly on mobile devices. Okay? Last thing. SEO takes time. No marketing is a short-term strategy. I hear this. I have this conversation weekly in my business. You have to give yourself some time of consistent work in marketing in general to really see a needle move. Okay? A lot of times when a company, one of my clients or a company in general is going through hardship, maybe they had a hard couple of months or there's a recession and money's just not flowing, one of the first expenses to be cut is the marketing budget. And I get it. There's no wrong or right answer necessarily to what you should cut when you're going through hardship. But in my opinion, marketing is not the first thing to go, because marketing is just designed to give you opportunities, right? It's designed to increase your visibility. And if you cut marketing because you think you're not making enough money, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think you're going to start making more money because you cut marketing? Sounds kind of counterintuitive. Sounds insane, actually, right? I get it. We all have budgets. We all have hardships. I'm not downplaying anybody's hardship or, talking down on any business. You got to do what you got to do. I get that. And a lot of businesses just can't afford marketing, and that's understandable too. But if you know that I'm talking about you, you know that I'm talking about you, right? You want this to work immediately, and if it's not, you're going to stop it and expect to grow. And that's just not how it works. If you're happy where you are and you don't need marketing or you can't afford it, then great. But if you expect to grow without marketing, it just isn't going to work. Marketing in some way doesn't have to be paid digital marketing, but under the grand scheme of marketing, there's something that you're doing if you're growing, period. And SEO is no different. It's not an overnight strategy. You're not going to optimize a website on Monday and be number one on Google on Tuesday. Doesn't happen. Okay, if you do those first two things consistently, you can be frequently, consistently top 3 in about 6 months, and you can be there for a long time. Okay, that's listings and reviews, but you got to do the work. Okay, you got to make sure those listings informations are published. You got to generate consistent 5-star reviews and respond to them, and do that over time. Okay, and you'll see, it'll be in the pudding. The proof will, in my Yoda voice, right? Make sure that you do the work first, and give it some time to work. Okay, you need to have that quality content. You need a strong website. You need reviews. You need accurate business information, and it all boils down to you need authority and credibility. You need to be trustworthy, and you need to be a player in the game. Okay, that authority and that credibility is what we're talking about, and that can be achieved with local SEO. Okay, but you're also building a long-term marketing asset. That's the flip side of the long-term game. You're building something that can't be easily overthrown overnight either. You're building a fortress. You're building with brick. So it takes a little longer. Okay, but it's harder to tear down. Okay, and that's why it's important. Okay, so if you're a local business owner and you're not sure how customers are finding you online, just start with the basics. Look at your Google business profile. Look at your reviews. Search for yourself. Look at your websites, and then ask yourself, if someone searched for my service today, would they find me or my competition? And if they found us both, which one of us would they choose? Okay, if you don't like the answers to those questions, then start doing some of that work. Okay, that's it for me today. I appreciate you, as always, for tuning into the Dominate Digital Marketing Podcast. If you like this type of content, I'm going to be more consistent. I promise on putting out content for you that can help your business grow. If you're a marketer, welcome. Let me know in the comments what I said is wrong, something that you'd like to see touched on next. If you like this type of content, you want to see more, hit subscribe, follow us, hit the notification bell, share this with all your friends, your entrepreneurial circle, your small business homies, whoever it is that you think would find this valuable. We would love to have them on, and I'd love to be able to continue to have conversations with you on what I'm seeing go on in my business and how I can help businesses grow. Okay, until next time, keep marketing smarter, not harder. Let's dominate digital marketing. Peace.
You know where you can find us. At the table with the trailblazers, pathfinders. Why would you attack Midas? Backbiters don't want smoke with the fact finders. You ain't getting to the bag.